Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company. Reto Berra was originally drafted by St. Louis in the 4th round in 2006, traded to Calgary last year in the Jay Bouwmeester deal. He makes his 3rd consecutive start. And Brian Elliott gets back in goal after watching the Blues' last 2 games. He played Friday in Florida, backstopping St. Louis to a 4-0 win over Florida. But Jaroslav Halak has been the man so far this year for St. Louis, and what a luxury the Blues have. You include Jake Allen down in Chicago in the American Hockey League. They've got 3 quality netminders.
You don't go anywhere in this league without great goaltending. It can save you game in and game out. And as you mentioned, St. Louis has a good tackle of them.
As we get set, life begins without Curtis Glencross for the Calgary Flames. Max Reinhart in town, recalled for the first time this season. And we are going to see new line combinations for Bob Hartley, including Lance Boma playing with Stajan and Jones, and they're out there right now.
Bob Hartley wanting to get some physical players on every line. St. Louis is one of the bigger teams in the National Hockey League.
And they're starting off with a 2-on-1. Oshie has the pass go underneath his stick. It floats through the slot area. Now behind the net. Steen trying to play it out in front. And then comes free. Jones with it. He hangs on to it. He's going to flip it ahead. Lance Boma trying to pick it up. Boma picked up his first assist of the year. Jiri Hudler's goal in Minnesota. The lone marker for the Flames in that 5-1 setback. Weidman back to get it. His pass out to Gagliardi. He takes a bump, but it's actually Berglund who went down on the play. Colborn in on Shattenkirk. Barrett Jackman is there for St. Louis. He plays it up to the point, but kept in by Russell, flagged by Elliott, and he's going to hang on. Keys to the game are brought to you by Budweiser. Great games are waiting.
For the Calgary Flames, they know they're going to have to contend with a lot of big St. Louis Blues players in the defensive zone. But Bob Hartley said they need to be strong in the neutral ice, not allowing them a chance to get set up in that offensive zone. And for the Blues, just keep the Blues marching in. Ken Hitchcock rules all 4 lines. As I mentioned, they're all big, aggressive forwards, and they like to spend a lot of time in the forecheck mode.
Russell hard off the boards. Puck comes free in the corner. Monahan has it. Sean Monahan finds Hudler. The 19-year-old rookie battling with Sabatka. Sabatka gets the puck ahead to Derek Roy, and the Blues are away. Here's Chris Stewart into Calgary territory. Checks up, plays it to the middle, but Dennis Weidman's there. Reto Berra comes over, has to use the paddle to help out his defender. Hudler flipping it out. Big Tim Jackman skating on the wing on this line, at least to start this game. Roman Polak has it for the Blues. Shots 1 each so far as Adam Cracknell comes across center into Calgary territory, tipping it in. He's battled and knocked down on the play. Ryan Reeves with a penalty coming up to Calgary. Backlund touches it. And the Blues will get an early power play as the 4th line creating havoc.
Adam Cracknell, big right winger, trying to make things happen on the dump in the corner. A little bit of a push there, and then contact with Reinhart as they locked up. Reinhart utilizing some of that young youth and size. Unfortunately draws himself an interference call.
So Max Reinhart sitting, and the Flames out to kill off this first Blue power play. St. Louis 0 for 4 in Montreal in a 3-2 shootout win on Tuesday night. Steen watched by Stajan. Back to the point. Pietrangelo to Shattenkirk. Back up top. Pietrangelo shot, scores! No, he didn't. Waved off. Referee was there. Pietrangelo back to Steen. Shattenkirk shoots it, bounces on Berra wide. Now behind the net. Butler gets it hard to the point, and it's kept in momentarily. Brody will dump it down the ice.
Unfortunately for the Flames, this is another team on this road trip, this recent road trip that has a team and a good power play on it. In fact, 2 very good units here in St. Louis. So winning face-offs and getting that puck deep in the defensive zone is so important.
Berra with a big save. They score there. Tarasenko beats Reto Berra 1-0. Blues on the power play.
Even on the power play for the St. Louis Blues, it all develops on the forecheck. 3 Blues players into that corner very quickly. Out to Bouwmeester, who snuck in from the point. Big save by Berra on the right pad. But Tarasenko comes in off that left wing. And nobody's able to pick him up, and they don't come any easier for that for the second-year pro here in St. Louis. There's the 3 Blues players going after that loose puck, and that's what they do so well. And that sets up this whole play, because that allows the defenseman Bouwmeester to come in from the point.
6th consecutive game in which the Blues have opened the scoring. 3:01 in. Tarasenko picks up his 5th goal of the year's 2nd power play goal. And the Flames in a hole early here in St. Louis. Puck's cut off. Backus momentarily as that one hits the linesman out to center. And big Brian McGrattan after it. Hodler won't come up with it. Steen has it. Now to Oshie. Steen shoots, blocked. Russell got in front of that, the former Blue. And behind the play, I guess in the play, McGrattan now a little unhappy as Berra's knocked down. Referees pointing to the penalty box. And we'll see who's going. A long chat with Barrett Jackman. Is it Jackman that's going to be escorted to the sin bin?
Jackman jumping up into the play. Down he goes at that point. The contact happens then, so there's no penalty, but the face-off's coming outside the blue line because the net was knocked off by a Blues player. But there's a different look again, which we saw in Minnesota the other night. The opposing team not afraid to send their defenseman up into the play.
So the face-off comes out in the neutral zone. No penalty on the play. Sabatka back to the point. Bouwmeester's shot goes off a skate. And Calgary out to center. Big hit by Sabatka, knocking Colborne down. Calgary, though, maintaining the puck momentarily. Now it comes back out to center. TJ Brodie with it. Off the boards. Gagliardi held up by Bouwmeester. Enough time for Roy to come back and get the puck. His pass comes up along the boards. Stewart just swings it out to Sabatka. Passes by him. Shots 4-1 in favor of the Blues. They have the 1-0 lead thanks to the power play goal from Tarasenko. Special teams continue to be a problem for the Flames on this road trip. Back to get it. Pietrangelo for Bouwmeester. McGrattan intercepts that. He'll leave it in the corner. Michael Backlund picks it up. To the point. Shane O'Brien shoots. That one dribbles wide. As Max Reinhart was parked right in front of the netminder. Reinhart gets the puck back. Trying to get it to Elliott's cage, but Elliott comes out and plays it to the corner. Backlund out in front, knocked down, and a little bit of fancy work by Max Lapierre, and he gets it out to center. Berra can't knock it down. Lapierre along the boards. Watched by Chad Billings playing his 2nd National Hockey League game. Polak into the corner. Reeves back to Lapierre, the former member of the Vancouver Canucks. Up along the wall, and Jones is there. He gets it out to center. Coming over is Matt Stajan. He swipes it, and Elliott comes out, stops it behind his own cage, and they play it off the glass along the boards. Here come the Blues. Up by 1 early here in the first period. Puck played off the boards. Boma looking for it. Tarasenko takes it away. Back up top, Jordan Leopold's shot is blockered away by Reto Berra, and again, Berra with a body in front. Another big hit. Matt Stajan involved in a collision. Penalty coming up. Tarasenko knocked down, and the Blues are going to go back to the power play as Russell touches it.
This period brought to you by the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Rob, we'll get to that penalty in a minute, but we'll have a look at the hit. Sabatka on Colborne at that point. Joe got up and finished the shift, but went down the walkway. And the interference call right there, as you mentioned, Dennis Wideman.
Puck comes back out in the neutral zone. The St. Louis Blues own the 4th best power play in the National Hockey League coming into action tonight, clicking at a 24% rate. That's going to go up a little more. They're already 1 for 1 in this first period. Dennis Wideman for interference. And the Blues on the attack. Pietrangelo brings it in. Shot goes wide. He gets it back. He'll play it to Backes. In tight. Steen trying to play it in front for Oshie. Back up high is Alex Steen. 13 goals on the season. He was a player of the month in the National Hockey League for October. The first star, I should say. It's Steen with the puck. Down low. Backes to the point. Pietrangelo. And that one's mishandled at the point by TJ Oshie. Back over to Pietrangelo, and the Blues will make a few changes on their power play unit. 50 seconds to go in the second St. Louis power play here in the first period.
It's going to be a tough battle for the Flames, just even strength, so they have to make sure that they maximize their opportunities as far as defensive play. When they're 5-on-5, they can ill afford to take interference calls all night, and that's something as part of the discipline against a good team like St. Louis.
Mikkel Backlund, the lone Flame forward, up on the forecheck as Bouwmeester, a quick pass ahead. Blues, Stewart walks out of the corner. Berra stopped the first one. The second one was wide and over top of the net. Derek Roy trying to play it back out in front. Mikkel Backlund gets to it. He finds some room and he'll flail it out. After it is TJ Gagliardi, but it's cut off. And the Blues play it back into Flames territory. Weidman back out on the ice, so St. Louis 1 for 2. Calgary killing off the second power play for the Blues here in the first period. Weidman with it. He'll play it off the boards out to center. That's got to be a little bit of a boost of confidence for Calgary.
Well, a boost of confidence on the penalty kill. Other good news, Joe Colborne back on the bench, so he's back ready to go, and the Flames can ill afford to lose another quality young player like that to injury.
Brody looking up the ice for Jackman. Pass was knocked down, and here comes Tarasenko, the goal scorer. Cuts to the middle, misfires, plays it in front, and Berglund was there, but he couldn't connect with the puck. Now Jackman hits his man in the corner. That's Barrett Jackman. Are we going to have a Jackman fight? We are. Tim and Barrett Jackman, no relation. They're going to square off right in front of the Flames net. Tim Jackman's second fight in as many games.
Barrett Jackman very strong on his skates, has some pretty good reach at this point, is tied up. Tim Jackman, as Tim's trying to get that arm loose to get that reach. Not really anything happening at that, as Barrett Jackman, very physically strong, is able to get that grab on the jersey.
Well, the Blues have thrown the gauntlet down here in the first period, up by 1. It's TELUS Flames Hockey.
Safeway $1 million score and win. If any Flames player scores 5 times in tonight's game, Mark Conacher of Calgary could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway. You could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet. Some good news. Joe Colborne busy working out that leg. He went to the dressing room with the athletic therapist Shad Richer, but he's returned to the ice and it looks like he'll be back into the frame.
Look, as he didn't get that one leg planted, or the right leg toe caught, and just twisted very quickly as he was getting hit by Sabatka. It's not a hard hit, but just seemed to catch that front toe edge.
1-0 St. Louis here in the first period, out shooting Calgary 6-2 as we near the midway point of the first. And here's Jay Bouwmeester. His shot whistles wide. Now it's kicked up, and Mike Camilleri out to center. Dumped in, Elliott. Back out behind the net. Only his 4th appearance this year for Brian Elliott. Jaroslav Halak has been the man so far for St. Louis. Bouwmeester again, handled by Berra into the corner. Gagliardi plays it off the boards. Colborne given the task of getting out of the zone, gets a little help from Gagliardi.
You mentioned for Elliott just the one victory, and it was a shutout. So he has made the best of his starts in the last 2 years here with the St. Louis Blues.
Comes around the boards. Backes finds Adam Cracknell. He taps it in, trying to get wide on Shane O'Brien. They collide. Jackman not in the penalty box right now, as Charlie mentioned, had gone to the room.
It just looked like a jersey adjustment.
Now Boma trying to tie up Cracknell behind the net. Puck comes free, a race for it. And it's kept in at the line. Shattenkirk managing to keep it there. Shot by Leopold goes wide. Again, Shattenkirk at the point. He's going to step into the top of the circle. No lane. Shot goes wide. Leopold is there. The former Flame. It's tipped in front. They score. 2-0 St. Louis.
Spending too much time in the defensive zone, you get those opportunities, and this time Maxime Lapierre just right stationed in front of Berra. The puck goes all the way to the far side. Bad angle shot, but it's just a shot on net. And with Lapierre getting that stick position, a right-handed shot right here comes out from behind the net. Right there, just got a tiny piece of it to get it enough up over the left pad of Berra, and all of a sudden St. Louis has a 2-0 lead.
And that's Lapierre's first point as a member of the Blues. Of course, he was in the news earlier in the season. Dangerous hit on Dan Boyle of the Sharks, suspended for 5 games. But he has given St. Louis a 2-goal bulge here in the first period, and they're looking for more. Tarasenko, and his shot goes wide. Berglund into the corner. Tarasenko, first man on it. Right now, the Blues are just winning all of the battles. Whittler gets it, can't get it out. Berra at the side of the net. Leaving it for Chris Butler. His clearing attempt was knocked down, but it rolls right back to Hoodler. Now some room for Calgary. It's dumped in, and after it is Michael Backlund trying to get around Jay Bouwmeester. He can't. Pulls the puck free. Backlund shot in traffic, comes to the side of the net. Reinhart looking for it. He'll dump it low. Backlund is there as well, but Sabatka in to take it away. Pass, knocked down. Reinhart with it. He'll chip it in. Around Polak. Max Reinhart looking for it. Bouwmeester is there. Backlund knocked it away from him. Reinhart in, but Bouwmeester gets it back, and his pass completed. And Stewart's away for the Blues. Out to get it, Russell. Can't find anybody to give it to, so Roy will play it back to the point. St. Louis again in the offensive zone, up by 2. Colborne with it. Out to center. Plays it to McGrattan. And that one's into the glove of Elliott, and he will hang on with Joe Colborne in the area. Blues up by a pair, including this tip in to make it 2-0 here in the first. In hockey, sometimes teams coming off the road are a little sluggish. Not the case for the Blues. Out to an early 2-0 lead on Calgary. They've been very good at home this year, Charlie. 5-1-1, and they've been very good against Calgary here at the Scott Trade Center of late.
Well, they're a team that's well rested, even though they did come off a road trip. But Ken Hitchcock likes to use all 4 lines. Nobody's really too tired. They haven't got any major injuries. They've got size and they've got talent. It's been a long time for the Flames in the rebuild. So there's some of the results that you're seeing. The 58.6% face-off percentage is so big for a team like St. Louis that likes to handle the puck.
Calgary looking for their first really good scoring chance of this game. Outshot 8-2. Power play goal and an even strength goal so far for St. Louis. Alex Steen. Puck comes back to the point. Shattenkirk with it. Pietrangelo keeping it alive, and Shattenkirk helping out as well. That one whistles wide. Lapierre's goal, assist to Leopold and Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk now with points in 7 consecutive games, all assists. And now we've got another tussle in front of the Flames bench, and Joel Colborne comes over to defend TJ Gagliardi. And everybody's involved. Chris Butler comes over to grab Backes. And the Flames' frustration starting to show through here, but they're standing up for each other.
Gagliardi and Steen were the ones that first pushing and shoving, and then big Joel Colborne on the way back to the bench might as well figured he'd get a little shot in there. Backes came right in very quickly to try and defend his other player in Steen. So you have to show emotion. You've got to show that you're really unhappy with the way the game is developing. And the best way to do that is to just get a little bit upset.
We'll see how this shakes out. Joe Colborne was already escorted over to the penalty box.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Well, it was a tussle just inside, outside the blue line, right in front of the bench of the Flames. Right here it was Gagliardi and Steen. They were just pushing and shoving as the puck developed, and Gagliardi couldn't get away from Steen, and then all of a sudden as Colburn's going towards the bench on a line change, and then, hey, let's just do some more pushing and shoving here. And then all of a sudden Oshie comes in, Backus comes in with a shot and a stick across the head.
So TJ Gagliardi's trying to make a line change. The next thing you know, he's back out on the ice.
And Backus came in through a pretty good punch at one point. I don't think I see him in the penalty box.
We mentioned Tim Jackman. He is back in the penalty box, so no problems there. Gagliardi and Colburn are sitting. Alex Steen is joining Barrett Jackman, who's already in because of the fighting major. See how this all shakes down with the officials. Faceoff looks like it's coming into the Calgary end, which...
Well, it looks like Colburn's the only one going to get the extra penalty. And I think that's really going to upset Coach Bob Hartley because of the way Backus came in. He just wants to talk to somebody. He wants to figure out what's going on. And I think that's what's really going to upset him is that you get Colburn, but you don't get Backus.
Third power play of this first period for the St. Louis Blues. Calgary yet to have the man advantage with St. Louis up 2. Boy, oh boy, Charlie. This is where you really got to keep them in close. You don't want the Blues running away on you early in this game.
And it's been tough for the Flames to get any power play opportunity on this road trip. And again, that's something that they have to get a little bit more disciplined. And a lot of times when you're doing some chasing, you end up getting penalties.
So the extra minor goes to Joe Colburn. Shot from the point. Barra got a piece of it. He got another blue jersey in his face. There's been a lot of traffic on top of Reto Berra here in the first period. That's Stajan. Got a glove on it, enough to knock it back to TJ Brodie, who gets the puck out. Here's Kevin Shattenkirk for St. Louis. Across the line, swings it over to Pietrangelo. Tied up. Good work by Matt Stajan. Can't get it out, though. Comes back to the point. Shot blocked. Tarasenko offered it up, but Boma was in front of it. And Pietrangelo walks the line. Looking for a lane. There is no lane. He'll play it back over. Comes to the middle, and the Flames chop it, and this one will roll out to center.
Good penalty killing and discipline by the Flames on that little excursion into the defensive zone. Ken Hitchcock wanting to get more scoring from one of his other lines, which was out there, Schwartz, Berglund, and Tarasenko, who have had some good opportunities, but they just haven't been able to find the net. So with a 2-0 lead, you'll probably see them play a lot more than they normally do.
Chris Russell rockets it down the ice. Camilleri gives chase, tying up his former teammate in Jay Bouwmeester. Leopold falling down, but it's back up. It's Bouwmeester with the puck. Sabatka to Stewart. Back to the point. Pass eludes Bouwmeester. Now a race for it. He'll get there before Hudler. Yuri Hudler tailing Jay Bouwmeester. Good work by Yuri Hudler as Bouwmeester unable to get it out. Now the Blues will get it out with just 12 seconds to go in this power play. Sabatka. Back to Pietrangelo. Back over. Polak playing it along the boards. Brodie gets it. Colburn out of the penalty box, has it, but Polak will cut him off and knock him down. And the Blues come away with it. Sabatka backhanding it in. Reto Berra leaves it. Shane O'Brien to Chris Butler, and he'll chop it right back to Shane O'Brien. He takes a look. Pass up ahead. Reinhart can't get to it. Calgary struggling here in the first period against the Blues, but have killed off the last 2 St. Louis power plays. 2-0 for the Blues. It's Hellas Flames hockey. Interesting first period for Joe Colburn, hasn't it?
Well, he ended up with the extra minor, but partial breakaway as he steps out of the penalty box. Didn't have the speed going, and a good play by the defenseman Roman Polak at that point. But then at the end of it, a little whack by Stewart. Kind of a little talk about, hey, don't touch our number 20 top goal scorer. And there's Stewart trying to get Colburn into a little bit of a fisticuff, and it's been a frustrating year so far for Chris Stewart. Had some big numbers in Colorado coming over to St. Louis a couple years ago, but this year kind of a second fiddle as far as points. Just 2 goals on the year.
Rimmed around the boards, knocked out by Yuri Hudler. Funny, Brian McGrattan just lined up with Alex Steen and was kind of in conversation with Steen, so messages being sent all over the place. TJ Brodie along the boards. Some help from Sean Monahan, but they can't clear the zone. Should be able to this time with some room. Brodie over to McGrattan. Pardon me, Jackman, I should say. And Steen with it. Alex Steen into the middle, and that one's stopped by Reto Berra. Lapierre looking for a second of this period. Monahan over, has it for Calgary, finds Brodie. TJ Brodie shakes off a checker, plays it ahead. Jackman looking for it. Whistle goes. Plays offside.
An offside whistle against the Flames. Tim Jackman finished off his 5-minute sentence in the penalty box, went down the hallway to get a little bit of an equipment adjustment. He's back ready to go. And it's the type of player that's going to be needed in a game like this. If you look at the size of St. Louis, they average about 210 pounds. And they're still a relatively young team at 27.5. So Doug Armstrong here with the St. Louis Blues has had many years, unfortunately, of not being successful. And the last 3 or 4, you can see how the pieces are starting to come together.
Chris Russell playing it in. Elliott quickly moving it. Lapierre in his own end. Avoiding the check from Michael Backlund. Spins away. He's out to the blue line. Gets by Lance Bowman. Now with a head of steam. Working in on Dennis Weidman. Finds Shattenkirk. His shot goes off a stick. Side of the net. And the Blues play it back to the point. This is Shattenkirk. No stick for Michael Backlund. In traffic. It's blocked. And Weidman trying to get it ahead to Brian McGrattan. He's out there looking to get something going with Ryan Reeves, but doesn't have a taker. Backlund playing it in. Tarasenko is out. He opened the scoring on the power play for St. Louis. Takes a bump from Max Reinhart. Real edge to this first period now. Both teams bumping and grinding and slashing and getting under each skin. Here's Stajan looking for Reinhart, but the pass never gets there. Chad Billings. Hard off the glass by Shattenkirk down the ice, and that will be icing. Charlie, without Mark Giordano, without Curtis Glencross, without Lee Stempniak, boy, the Flames lose a lot of games of experience, don't they?
Almost 1,400 total games of experience with those 3 guys out. The rest of the team just over 5,200, but it's the quality of players, unfortunately, that have hurt Bob Hartley. Remember, Camilleri is out for a good part of the early year, so was Stajan. So you're looking at a team that has really had a hard time fulfilling putting on a full quality team since the start of the year.
Derek Roy into the middle. Stewart tipped it to the corner.
And of course, in saying that, it gives great opportunity for some of these young guys to get their feet a little bit wet here in the National Hockey League.
Billings trying to dig the puck free. Stajan is there. He's checked. The scrums moved up the wall, but not very far. Now the puck comes out. Reinhart chops it out across the red line. Calgary will try and make a few changes. Blues will try and take advantage. They can't because of a good active stick by Matt Stajan. Back into the middle. Bouwmeester is there. Pietrangelo in his own end. Had a brief contract hassle with the Blues. Sat out training camp for almost a day before getting a new 7-year deal. As that puck shot over the glass. Look at former Flame Jay Bouwmeester.
Part of the way the evolution of coming for the Calgary Flames. Unfortunately, Jay Bouwmeester was not part of it, so you can see his numbers with the Calgary Flames. Just 0.28 points per game, 1.5 shots on net, but this season so far with St. Louis, numbers way up. The shots on net, you're looking at the quality of the depth of the St. Louis Blues right now, and plus they've had the luxury of only having 7 man games lost, so everybody's getting a chance to play here in St. Louis.
2-0 St. Louis late in the first. Looking for more, and what a save by Reto Berra at the side of the net. TJ Oshie with it. Alex Steen trying to bank it in off the Flame netminder. Puck comes out in front. Jiri Hudler's there, and he'll tap it out to the neutral zone. Reto Berra with a very important stop for his club.
Against one of the hottest scorers in the league, too, is Alex Steen, tied with Ovechkin right now at 13 goals on the season, leading the way.
Nice and call against the Blues, and an offensive faceoff coming up for Calgary.
Chance, unfortunately, for the Flames when they don't clear the zone. Good heads-up play. Oshie, soft pass in to Thomas Steen. A little fake shot, then go right to the backhand. And there's that lateral movement that Clint Malarchuk has been talking about with Berra, that he's so strong moving laterally with those legs.
Shots 11-2 in favor of St. Louis here in the first. Stajan, Jones, and Boma out there for Calgary. Weidman and Russell back on the blue line. Stajan wins it clean. Weidman loads, and that one's blocked by Adam Cracknell. Boy, Weidman really leaned into that, but Adam Cracknell slid right in the way. Jones flipping it ahead. Boma trying to play it deep, play back out, and a chance now for St. Louis. Lapierre with Reeves going to the net, and a back check by Boma took that opportunity away. Stajan can't get it by Barrett Jackman. Cracknell back into Calgary territory. Russell is there. Chris Russell, acquired by the Calgary Flames from St. Louis July 5th for a 5th-round pick in this upcoming draft. And he's been worth all of it so far, as Brian Elliott will hang on to it.
Well, Hartley's not going to be happy when he sees this face-off, too. A big win by Stajan, but back is just straight cross-check across the chest and looked like caught part of his jaw. Down he went. Stajan finished the shift. There's that size again that in a losing battle, Backes still gets aggressive.
Joe Colburn is tossed out of the face-off circle, so Vladimir Sabatka will face Mike Camilleri. Sabatka leading the National Hockey League in face-off percentage, winning just over 66% of the ones he participates in. Get it deep momentarily. Waning stages of the first. Jiri Hudler going to play it across the blue line. Now a penalty coming up. The Flames will get a power play. Berra is off, extra attacker on. Elliott stops it at the side of the net. And for the first time in this game, Calgary will get a man advantage.
A little bit of a holding call. Patrick Berglund lost the battle on the boards, lost his stick, lost his thinking for a moment, and grabbed the jersey of Hudler as he made a nice move right there around him, and that's the holding call. So very brief 14.2 seconds here in the first period for a power play opportunity on the Flames.
Last 7 games, Calgary 0 for 22 with the man advantage, and Bob Hartley talking about the need to generate more shots. Likes a lot of what the power play unit's been doing in terms of retrieving pucks and breaking it out, but would like to see more rubber on net. And he's probably going to have to wait for the second period to see that on this particular man advantage. As no shots, and the Blues lead 2-0.
This period brought to you by the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Tarasenko on a power play. Lapierre even strength, and the Blues lead Calgary 2-0. Jeff Merrick in the Hockey Central panel. They look really good. I would think Bob Hartley's hoping that one of his TJs will find the scoring summary, but it was all St. Louis in the first.
On the power play, Tarasenko is 5th of the year from Bomeister and Schwartz. Maxim Lapierre, his first goal and first point as a St. Louis Blue from Leopold and Shattenkirk. And for St. Louis, they've scored the first goal of the game. 11 of their 14 so far this year, and you can see why they have that success, because they do play very well with that lead.
And this guy usually gives them the lead, especially against Calgary. Look at the goals against average in career games. His best comes against the Flames.
Well, Brian Elliott really has found himself a nice home here in St. Louis. 2 years ago, shared the Williams Jennings Trophy with Halak as the best goals against average in the National Hockey League. So when you look at the depth and the quality of the squad that they have in front of them, that's just even an extra bonus when you have the quality goaltending from these two.
Flames start the second period on the power play, their first of this game. A minute 46 to go in the minor to Patrick Berglund. Calgary outshot 11-2 in that first period, outchanced just as greatly, but only down by a pair. Boy, oh boy, would a goal right here to get him back in it probably do a lot of good for the confidence of the visiting team.
We saw in Chicago, the same here in St. Louis, good power plays for the home teams, but the penalty killing, which surprisingly for both the clubs, Chicago and here in St. Louis, have struggled. Just 27th in the league here for St. Louis on the penalty kill.
David Jones with the puck. It comes back to Wideman. Over to Russell. His shot kicked away by Roman Polak, and I mean can style kicking, rocket-like kicking back to the point.
Did a good job of tying up Jones in front, so he had his stick tied up and utilized his feet.
Long shot over top of the net. Waiting for it is David Jones. He's pressured at the point, can't keep it alive. Don't think that the coaching staff of the Flames would have been too happy with the compete level in the first period. That's something that Bob Hartley has been harping on this road trip. Wideman now, his turn to keep it alive with his feet, but the Blues jump on it and dump it down the ice. Nothing to show for it so far in this power play for Calgary.
And it's so important for a young team that Bob Hartley has here that the guys compete, and they have to in every opportunity, because for some of them, it's an opportunity for the extra ice time.
Puck comes back to the point. Brody is there. His shot doesn't make it through. And it's down the ice as Berglund standing in the penalty box ready to come back out. Brody has the puck. And the Blues kill off the first Flame power play of this game and continue to lead it 2-0. As the puck's brought in offside by Joe Colborne.
Enjoy a great happy hour pricing online area hot shots.
Ken Hitchcock happy with the way his team is playing and getting the opportunity to rotate all of his lines. His third season here in St. Louis. Pretty impressive record that he has here in St. Louis. He's moved into the top 10 of coaching victories.
Picked up his 614th career victory in that 3-2 shootout win over Montreal on Tuesday, passing Jacques Martin.
Next in line is Jacques Lemaire at 6'17" and Brian Murray at 6'20".
Blues have it. Berglund side of the net, and Berra managed to keep it out. The puck laid there for a moment, but Chris Butler rescued it. Now it's turned over. Jaden Schwartz into Calgary territory, dropping it for Berglund. His shot into the body, and Berra will hang on to that. They're sloppy play in their own end by Calgary, and nearly cost them.
Well, quick skating by St. Louis. There's that pursuit of the loose pucks. Flames can't get a hold of a nice little feed as Berglund tries to drag it across. And this is one of the things that Clinton Larchuk was saying, that sometimes the goaltender Berra has too quick of lateral movement. Not that time. He really left that right pad out there to come up with that save.
Wideman chopping it to the corner. Roy is there, but Hudler gets it for Calgary. Rolls all the way back down to the blue line of St. Louis, and Bouwmeester is there. Pietrangelo, quick up. Picked up by Hudler. Now Jackman relaying it to Wideman. Chris Russell, as it's tipped in by Sean Monahan. Back to get it. Pietrangelo and Monahan. Won't get to him. He'll head off. Jackman intercepts it. Hudler cruising, but can't get the shot through. Now Yuri Hudler back at the blue line. Colborne waiting for it. Has Jackman. And Jackman comes over, knocked away from him, and Vladimir Zabotka will get it out. St. Louis dumping it in. Derek Roy after it. Roy turned around momentarily. Has it in his feet. Colborne will pick it up, and penalty coming up, and it's going to go against St. Louis. Reto Berra heads off for the extra attacker. Camilleri across the line. The Blues touch it, and the Flames going right back out in the power play.
High stick Roy up on Colborne as he's reaching in to try and lift Colborne's stick. Catches him up above the shoulder. Good work right there. You can see the helmet just fly up on Colborne. I like this about a young player. No head fake, no nothing. Continue on to play. The referees make the call. That's great.
Yep.
That's the way to play the game.
You rely on them to do their job. You just do your job.
You don't take away from the game, and Colborne was able to skate up the ice with the puck.
By Camilleri to take the draw for Calgary.
Don't enjoy those soccer plays.
Puck shot down the ice. Reto Berra will leave it. Chris Russell will pick it up. Russell parked in the corner now. Looks ahead. Pass turned away by St. Louis, and they'll try it again. Here's Chris Russell. Played 76 games for St. Louis over the course of 2 seasons, did Chris Russell.
They've got 5 goals in those 76 games.
Dumped down the ice. Russell back to pick it up. Now Chris Russell, you look at his options. Slow and methodical for Calgary in terms of setting this up. Puck in the corner. Backlund gets to it. Now Russell to Weidman. And Camilleri, his pass off TJ Oshie and down the ice.
Just taking too much time to get set up, and that allows the penalty killers of St. Louis to expand the box and they take away that shot from the point, which is where I think most players want the power play to start from, the shot from the point.
Cross the line, Colborne rimming it around. Backlund waiting for it. Calgary without a shot so far here in the second period. Oshie out to challenge at the point. Brody, shot goes wide. Now bounces to Elliott at the side of the net. Polak is there. Flames Backlund has the puck. Michael Backlund to Colborne. Taken away by Barrett Jackman. Schwartz along the boards. Frozen momentarily, and the puck comes back to the blue line. TJ Brody had retreated to try and be in position defensively, and that opened up that blue line, allowing the Blues to get it out. Now Colborne. 9 seconds to go in Calgary's second power play, still without a shot. That changes right there. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and nearly a 5th as Backlund missed the side of the net. Calgary's best chances of the game so far, but back out on the ice is Derek Royce, so the Flames 0 for 2 with a man advantage here in the game. Sabatka, button hooks, waiting for the trailer. And that one turned away by Berra as Leopold didn't offer too much on that shot. In front, Steen scores! 14th of the year, 3-0 St. Louis.
Boy, how many times have we seen such great goaltending at one end, which Elliott provided right at the end of that power play. Right here, the simple shot, TJ Brody rebound, second rebound, goes right to Backlund, just misses that far corner. 5-on-5 strength the other way. Here comes St. Louis. They move the puck around. There's the shot on net, a rebound. Steen, very quick button hook right to the front of net. Nice soft pass, and he doesn't make a mistake here. He goes back to his backhand, and just a soft backhand for Alex Steen as he gets his 14th of the year. Just double coverage, chasing the player in the corner, and that's where someone has to remain to the front of the net.
Alex Steen came into the evening leading the National Hockey League with 13 goals, now has 14 in 14 games. That's a pretty good average. And the Flames down by 3 early here in the second period. Gagliardi after it. Elliott comes out of the net, swings it to the corner. St. Louis have it, and they are away. Steen with Oshie. Oshie hit along the boards by O'Brien. And now it's Steen back to the point. Shot in traffic, tip wide side of the net. It's tipped away from Oshie. Sean Monahan trying to fight through blue jerseys. Puck comes back to the blue line. It's kept in. Backus. Far side. Found Leopold pinching in. Steen's in front of the net. Shane O'Brien tying him up. Now Ryan Reeves. Up top. Lapierre pass off the side of the net from the shot there again from Leopold. Jordan Leopold picked up an assist on Steen's goal. And Leopold with 2 points against his former club this evening.
Corey Hoodler's lost a broken stick, and he hasn't had to deal with anything help defensively, so he's kind of helpless out there.
Blues all over Calgary here in the second period. Now Cracknell. Back to the point. And Berra freezes it as the Flames down by 3. Alex Steen is red hot. Tell us, Flames hot. Off to a start to a season is long going to be remembered.
He has started nicely, and he's getting results from all the hard work and all the ability that he has. And he's in the right place at the right time. Nice combination with Backus and TJ Oshie on that line right now. And you look at the 14 goals he scored, had 4 last year at the same time. And everything starts and is continuing to go his way. In the end results, you look at the team victories, and that's what's most important to Ken Hitchcock. And he's riding a hot left winger right now, and why wouldn't you just continue to play him?
Shot blocked by Lance Boma. David Jones looking for the pass. It's by him, no icing. Jones cruises to the corner. No rest for Calgary. They fly after this game to Denver to take on the Avalanche tomorrow night. St. Louis off until Saturday when they host Pittsburgh. Boma gets it out. Over to play it is Jay Bouwmeester in his 648th consecutive game. That one whistles wide. Elliott took a grab at it, couldn't pick it out of the air. Weidman shot in, hits Elliott. Boma down on the play. Elliott freezes the puck as Bouwmeester had tied up Lance Boma right in front of his netminder.
Get an oil change by December 15th and get a free gift. Michelin Hybrid Wiper Blades. Get your coupon at MrLube.com.
It's a perfect recipe for power play goals, and it's also for even strength goals, getting pucks into traffic areas. There's so many players now playing in front of the goaltending, whether it's your own defenseman trying to block you, as the Flames have 2 players in there. Set up a screen, look for a rebound, especially when you're trailing by 3. Just get the puck at the net.
Derek Roy gets it ahead. Here's Stewart. He'll tip it in. O'Brien after it. Chad Billings is there. Flames get it, and it's out to Jackman. O'Brien following up. He'll tip it in. Takes a hit from Sabatka. McGrattan in, bumping with Jackman. Monahan's there. Can't come up with the puck. Derek Roy can. And Jackman comes over, and Monahan plays it back to O'Brien. Jackman bumped. Shattenkirk can't get Jackman off the puck, but he does strip it. Kevin Shattenkirk skating it out of harm's way. Off the glass into Calgary territory. Shot 16-6 in favor of the Blues. As this looks like it could be an icing call. Camilleri not able to get to the hash marks in time. Bob Hartley probably seething on the inside, but calm, cool, and collected on the outside.
Well, it's something, it's out of control right now when you don't have your top players in a lineup against a team like St. Louis. It's frustrating for him, but on the other hand, and we've mentioned it already, this is opportunity for some players to see who's going to step up in adverse conditions and situations like tonight's game, and who's going to make the difference.
Berglund, Colburn to take the face-off. And Colburn winning it cleanly. Butler chipping it ahead, but the Flames can't control it. Berglund to Tarasenko. Butler's knocked down behind the play. The Flames come away. 3-on-2. Brody to McGrattan. He'll tip it in. TJ Brody stays up. Squeezed out of the play by Roman Polak. Joe Colburn is there. It's a little assistance from Mike Camilleri. Mike Camilleri to the corner for Colburn. Back to the point. Butler. This is his hometown, St. Louis, Missouri, for Chris Butler. Always fun for him to come back, not necessarily under the current circumstances here in the second period. Colburn being worked over by Berglund. Camilleri trying to get it back to Gagliardi. He gloves it to himself in the corner. Now TJ Gagliardi with it. Flames getting some pressure. That one flipped over top of the blue paint into the far side, and still in control of Calgary. Best 5-on-5 pressure the Flames have had. And a penalty coming up, a slash.
Canadian Pacific Goals for Kids is proudly sponsored by Canadian Pacific and its 2,700 railroaders based in Calgary. For every Flames goal this season, the Railway will donate $250 to Kidsport and the Flames Even Strength program. Goals by Flames help CP build stronger kids and stronger communities.
Patrick Berglund gets his second penalty of the game as he snaps the stick of TJ Gagliardi. And that was a result of a very good shift by the Colborne line with Gagliardi and with McGrattan out there. Just
good to build on.
Just good rotation down low, and that's the way they have been playing when they get the opportunity.
Matt Stajan to take the draw. He wins it. It comes back to Chris Russell. Shoots that one over top of the net. Backlund after it. Backus gets to it. He dumps it down the ice. Let's see if the Flames can convert on some of the urgency that was shown that drew the penalty. Russell to Stajan. Across the St. Louis line, looking far side. Bouwmeester intercepts it. He'll play it ahead, and Lapierre content to kill some time on the clock as he bumps with Weidman. Now Russell finds his partner Weidman. He's going to play it in. However, he's going to have to go and get it. Monahan takes it away from Pietrangelo. One time blue. Weidman plays it to the middle, but Jones couldn't handle it. It's fired back down the ice by the St. Louis Blues. It just off a half foot, seems, Charlie, the passes and the plays.
Well, there's not much time and space out there, and that's why it's imperative to make sure that that pass is an accurate one on a power play.
Well, Weidman thinks about it. He'll dump it in on Elliott. It bounces around, hits the referee. Jaden Schwartz trying to tip it out. Brody is there, and Schwartz, keeping up the work, manages to muscle it out. 40 seconds to go in Calgary's third power play. Camilleri back to the point. Weidman dangles around the forechecking of Schwartz, but Schwartz gets the puck and he'll play it back into Calgary's end.
There's an example of what I just talked about, how you get good possession, a good backhand pass to get set up in that offensive zone, but then there's that split indecision of what you're supposed to do with it, and that allows St. Louis to take it away.
10 seconds to go in the third power play of this game for Calgary. Colborne around the boards. Billings too deep, and Brody back to get it. So Berglund back out on the ice. Calgary officially 0 for 3 in this game, and Charlie have not scored a power play goal in their last 25 opportunities. Gagliardi has the puck, comes out, shoots. Elliott with a great save. TJ Gagliardi had nothing but room, but Ryan Elliott made a terrific glove grab. Knocked it out of midair. And Gagliardi tied up along the boards by Bouwmeester. Colborne trying to dig the puck free. Gets it to Reinhart. Quick shot. That goes off a skate. Backus was protecting him. Shane O'Brien pushing up on Stewart. Reinhart knocked down on the play. Puck played in, and Chris Butler over to get it. He'll spin away from Steen. Looking for Reinhart. It's over his stick, and it's an icing call, and it's going to go against Calgary.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
We'd like to remind you Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game is Kraft Dinner.
Great look at some calm playing by TJ Gagliardi as he doesn't get it around quick enough. Elliott was able to cover that far side. That's Reinhart standing in front looking for the rebound.
Puck now below the goal line in the offensive zone for Calgary as Jackman gets it from Reinhart. Michael Backlund trying to protect it away from Shattenkirk. Jackman feeling the pressure, gets it back to Michael Backlund, side of the net. Elliott puts that trapper down, and he'll squeeze it, freeze it, and get the whistle. 3-0. The Blues lead the Flames here in the second period.
Friday Night Hockey's back tomorrow night with a Quebec Major Junior matchup as the Wildcats visit the Mooseheads at 5 p.m. Mountain on Sportsnet 1, Pacific, East, and Ontario. Enjoying his second NHL game tonight is Chad Billings. Interesting story. His dad, Jason, played junior hockey in Canada in Ontario. He actually started getting into the hockey at age 3. First of all, skates in the house, then on the ice. Coached by his dad through minor hockey. He played with the famed Little Caesars Midgets in Detroit, went on to Ferris State and had a great year at Grand Rapids, and now he's a Calgary Flame.
And he became the 10th player since Bob Hartley became head coach to make his NHL debut for the Calgary Flames. Another penalty coming up as Berglund touches it. He's not going to the bench this time, but his teammate will be, and the Flames will get their 4th power play as Jaden Schwartz is the man who gets the hooking call.
Reaching in, TJ Brodie trying to keep that puck and get it deep, but right at that last second he reaches right in there and catches that arm, a little bit of a spin that doesn't allow Brodie to keep that offensive play going. Flames now will get back on that power play. We're looking for more shots on this one.
TJ Brodie, hard pass to Russell. It's by him. Steen intercepts it. And you got to be careful with the Blues. They have no problem turning it up the ice and creating some offense. Camilleri tapping it over to Jiri Hudler. Jones, nice job to create some room for Hudler. Brodie pressured on the play by Bouwmeester. Hudler knocked down, gets back up. 3 Flames trying to work it away from Pietrangelo, and Camilleri does just that. Russell, shot wide by Hudler. It never quite got there in time for Hudler to execute the one-timer. Camilleri up top. Hudler back to Brodie. Shot in traffic, and Elliott has that go off his arm. Turnaround shot. That one deflects wide. Camilleri got a skate stick, somebody part on it. Brodie hits Bouwmeester, trying to keep it in. Backus has it, and he'll clear it down the ice. A minute to go in Calgary's man advantage.
Much better puck movement and traffic at the net, and that's what it takes, is that first quick pass to open up some lanes for yourself.
Chris Russell weaves his way through the neutral zone, finds Wideman, fakes the shot, taps it. Colborne. This Stajan's pushed up along the wall. Matt Stajan trying to take it away from Barrett Jackman. Sabathka's there. He has it, turns around, hard pass right onto the stick of Lapierre, and Maxime Lapierre will just tap it in off the glass and give chase. Wideman has to play it away from him. Backlund waiting for it, chips it ahead. Colborne. Across the line, Stajan finds Chad Billings. Billings comes to Backlund. Billings sets up in the back door. Wideman can't handle it cleanly. Colborne with it in front. Stajan swing and a miss. Billings to Wideman, penalized player back out on the ice. Calgary 0 for 4 on the power play in this game against St. Louis. All of them, the bulk of them, coming here in the second period.
Well, they're skating much better than they did in the first period, which are setting up and causing St. Louis to draw those types of penalties.
Chipped ahead. TJ Gagliardi jumps on it. 25-year-old from Calgary to Reinhart. That one's turned away by Shattenkirk, but it comes right back to Reinhart. He's in a battle with Shattenkirk down low. Comes out in front, and Gagliardi again hits Elliott up high. TJ Gagliardi's had Calgary's best scoring chances here in the second period. He dives out to make sure that Shane O'Brien has control of the puck. Gagliardi's had a running feud with Alex Steen in this game. And he certainly brought the emotion here in period number 2 for Calgary.
Well, emotion in the skating too, and that's important for TJ Gagliardi if he's going to be successful game in and game out, is the way he skates.
Shots 10-5 in favor of the Flames here in period number 2. Russell out across the red line. Ahead, Stajan plays it back. Hudler with it. Now Brodie. That one whistles just wide. Chris Stewart will come over. He'll tip it ahead. Derek Roy gives chase. Brodie there first, but Roy with the puck playing it out in front. Shot goes off a stick over top of the net. Roy knocked down. Backus has it scooped away by Hudler. Jiri Hudler wearing an A tonight in the absence of Curtis Glencross. Hudler across the line, drops it back. Butler on a line change was there just in time, but he couldn't make a play. Stewart, long shot over top of the net, comes right back out in front. And David Jones with some speed in the blue end, can't split the defenseman. Backlund can't handle it. Here comes St. Louis. They have some speed. Steen with Pietrangelo joining the rush. Steen on the backhand, rolls around, and it's knocked away by Reto Berra. There's Alex Steen in a bid for his second goal of this game. Now Butler flipping it out, knocked out of the air by Oshie, but he couldn't control it. Jones to Boma. Boma down low. Jones will battle for it with Shattenkirk. Has Backlund in there. Back to the point. Brody shoots. That one's off Oshie, and he's hurt. TJ Oshie blocked that shot from the blue line by TJ Brody. And now Oshie unable to get back to the bench. On one leg, Colborne to the middle, and the pass by everybody. Referee gets in the way. Reinhart has to come back to get it, trying to get it away from Shattenkirk. Oshie is still out there and still stung from that shot from Brody. Now the puck played deep by St. Louis. It's all TJ Oshie can do to get off the ice. Give him credit. Gagliardi, puck taken away. Nice play by Berglund. Creates some offense. Here comes Cracknell. Tarasenko driving the net. Tarasenko knocked into the boards by Butler, but he still has the puck. He opened the scoring in this game on a power play for St. Louis in the first.
1 minute to play in the second period.
Tarasenko out in front, and it's tipped away from Jaden Schwartz. Jordan Leopold, as it's picked up by Weidman, and Dennis Weidman will backhand it ahead. Out to center. Gagliardi turns. Gets Jordan Leopold's stick further than he got the puck. We've gone 6 minutes without a whistle. We won't get one here as Berra plays it around the boards, but it's trapped there, and the Blues keep it alive offensively. Stewart in front. Weidman can't handle it. And Stewart with it on the backhand. Bounces around. To the corner it goes. So does Weidman. Spinning away from the pressure of Derek Roy. Here's Chris Butler. His pass by Monahan. A foot race ensues. And the Blues get to it. That's Bouwmeester. An icing call coming up.
Hard shot coming from the point as TJ Brody gets a nice feed, lets it go in a hurry, and that caught Oshie looked like right on the laces, and that's a real big stinger for him, and it took him a while to get up. He did finish the shift, in fact made a pretty good defensive play just inside his own blue line to try and clear that puck.
After it in the corner with 10 seconds to go with the Blues, trying to add to their 3-0 lead. Berra down to the side of the net as Ryan Reeves brought it around, but Reto Berra read it well.
Much more improved period for the Calgary Flames as we get a good overhead look of Berra making that movement, that lateral movement, left post, right post, both pad and blade of the stick down, so he wasn't allowing anything to go sneak underneath him on that wraparound from Reeves.
Stajan and Backes to take the draw. And Calgary win it. They'll control it, kill time on the clock as Brody's dumped behind the net. 3-0 St. Louis through 40 minutes. Jeff Merrick, the Blues look awfully good tonight.
3-0 advantage, and there's a look at the statue of pride of Home Lake, Saskatchewan, Bernie Federko. Hall of Famer here in St. Louis, and some of the banners high atop the Scott Trade Center include Brett Hull, who I saw earlier this morning for a little bit. And tomorrow, of course, TELUS Flames Hockey returns. 24 hours, the final stop of the Central Division road trip on Sportsnet West, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. The Flames will visit the Colorado Avalanche. 2 losses for the Avs in 14 games. Press Box honors one of the great play-by-play in NHL history, Dan Kelly. And Rob Kerr and Charlie Simmer have the privilege of being in there tonight, getting set for period 3. That's
a privilege indeed. What an honor it is to see a man like Dan Kelly honored up here. The scoring summaries from the second period brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago.
First period goals by Tarasenko and Maxim Lapierre had the St. Louis Blues up by 2. A much bigger push and better push by the Calgary Flames, but the only goal scored, unfortunately for them, the guy that leads the National Hockey League in goal scoring, Alexander Steen, picked up his 14th of the year, but it has been just what you expected. A pretty rough and tumble type of game. Jackman on Jackman in the first fight, and then just lots of pushing and shoving as this game goes on. Stewart wants a piece of Coburn. They shot Backes on Matt Stajan. And this is just a continuing battle that we saw earlier. Flames are out hitting St. Louis, according to the stats here tonight. And there we see Steen, who has had such a great start to this season. Bob Hartley probably a little bit better happy after the second period, but not really that much happier as his team is down by 3.
Power play continues to be a bugaboo. 0 for 4 in this game now. 0 for 26 in the last of 8 games. Calgary down by 3 to start this period. And an icing call.
And that's just something the Flames players are going to have to overcome when you start thinking of power play. Sometimes I think the players make it a little bit more difficult and a little bit more complex than it has to be. We saw some great examples in that second period. All it took was one shot on net, and it developed in second and third opportunities.
TJ Oshie's shot on net is stopped by Reto Berra. Here comes David Jones. He'll dump it in. Pietrangelo plays it off the boards, and the Blues are away. Cut off by Calgary. Steen gets it back, and he will dump it in. Alex Steen with his 14th goal of the year in just 14 games. The old line goes, not a record, but a heck of an average.
And he's really been hot as of late. Has been very consistent with his goal scoring, and that's something that'll be very pleasing to any head coach.
Dennis Wideman will find Chris Russell. Russell took a shot off the inside of his foot in that second period, but no worse for wear as he's out there here in the third. Colborne trying to get it over to Mike Camilleri. And the puck played out. Jaden Schwartz after it, cut off by Dennis Wideman. Wideman gaining position on Schwartz. But no Flames there to help. Colborne a little late to the party. And the Blues in the offensive zone. Tarasenko, that one kicked away. Another shot blocked by Reto Berra. High that time. Now Russell using his speed. Looking for Camilleri. It's by him. 5 blue jerseys around Max Reinhart. Gives you a little indication of how Ken Hitchcock's team is prepared to play this third period.
Well, and he was saying this morning that the third period has been their best period all season. They've got a lot of their victories coming from behind in that third period, or at least tied. And the way they've been able to do it because they've been using all 4 lines and 3 sets of defensemen. So pretty fresh team coming into the third period every game.
Chris Stewart out there for St. Louis. Last year led the team in points in the lockout season, but Stewart just 5 points so far this year. His shot off the blocker of Reto Berra. Jackman ahead to Michael Backlund. That one whistles by Elliott. Tim Jackman trying to push it by Jordan Leopold. Leopold gives it away. Backlund has it. To the blue line, but the shot cut off as Lapierre got in front of it. Max Lapierre scoring his first as a member of the Blues in the first period as well. Adam Cracknell, drafted by the Calgary Flames way back in 2004 in the 9th round, but signed his first one-way contract this past summer here in St. Louis, a 1-year deal. It's all he ever signs in St. Louis are 1-year deals. Lapierre trying to get it in front. It goes off his skate. Brian McGrattan's there, and he will get it out. Race for it. And Elliott out to play it. No icing. Pietrangelo is waiting there. And there's Jay Bouwmeester, longtime member of the Calgary Flames. The man who was part of the deal for Bouwmeester, Reto Berra, playing at the side of the net, but he can't get it by the forechecking of St. Louis. And Matt Stajan will try to TJ Gagliardi. Gagliardi, somewhat of a spark plug for Calgary in the second, had a couple of really good scoring chances. Calgary maybe a little bit beyond the really good chance department and really needs to find the back of the net here in the third. Backus picks up the puck, goes to the point. Shattenkirk being bothered by his former Avalanche teammate David Jones. Now Wideman ahead to Gagliardi, up to Jones, down the right side. Gagliardi cruising up the middle. Jones goes to the middle. His shot blocked off yet again. Pietrangelo stepped in front of that.
It's amazing how many shots are blocked. They were talking at St. Louis. Montreal had 38 blocked shots from the St. Louis Blues. And with all the equipment and the getting in the shooting lanes, tough to get a shot at the goaltender.
Puck comes back to Chris Butler. Doesn't make it through.
Is that another block shot?
I believe it's a block shot, yeah. And that one is blocked up over the glass and into the crowd.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Calgary Flames and all the fans who carry a torch for them. Intact Insurance, your back,
That guy blocked the shot, Charlie, in the second period, and I'm a little surprised to see him on the bench, TJ Oshie.
Well, that's the key probably, is to keep that boot on. If you get hit in the foot with the skate boot on, you leave it on, you'll deal with the swelling after the game. A lot of times it's just getting it back, get that circulation back.
Shane O'Brien shot, they score! Rebound, and it's backhanded in by Tim Jackman. First of the year, Calgary within 2.
Flames did a great job in the face-off dot in that second period. In fact, they won 11, only lost 4. And another great example here of a combination of the Jackman starting the play on the face-off and jumps on that rebound. And again, this will relate all the way back to a power play goal when an opportunity. That's what happens when you hit the net with a shot. Elliott's supposed to make the save, which he does, and nobody picks up Tim Jackman as he goes right back to the backhand and gets it up over the glove of Elliott.
Brian Elliott shut out the Florida Panthers last Friday 4-0. He will not get a shutout here tonight as the Flames get a goal from essentially their fourth line. Jackman gets it. Now the Flames give it away. Cracknell. Chad Billings will get the assist along with Shane O'Brien. So Billings, in limited ice time, 2 points in 2 NHL games. Both assists. Lapierre can't get the puck deep. Calgary get it, and they are away. Max Reinhart trying to slip in behind Pietrangelo. Watch Pietrangelo with the puck. You got to think he's a good bet for Team Canada at the Sochi Olympics.
We look at that combination of Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo. Very good together. Skate very well, cover a lot of ice. They could be a great combination.
Reto Berra standing tall, side of the net. Chris Stewart offered one up. This is where Calgary really has to get the puck back and go on the offense. Down by 2. They've got a little momentum with the Jackman goal. Now they need to build on it. They get the puck out. This will be an icing call. Is back to get it is Jordan Leopold. No icing. Puck comes out in front, but it's knocked away by Elliott. And we got a penalty coming up. So no icing call, but a power play coming up for Calgary. Down by 2. They get the man advantage. As looks like former Flame.
It's playoff time in college football. Sportsnet U Yates Cup features the Ontario University Football Conference on Saturday, 11 a.m. Mountain. Sportsnet 360 and Ontario. The Western Mustangs take on the Queens Golden Gate.
Tim Jackman giving us a winner tonight by swiping a free club card at Safeway. Rita Franklin of Calgary has won a DVD prize pack from E1 courtesy of Safeway and Kraft Dinner. Calgary on their 5th power play of the game. They're 0 for 4 so far. Russell's shot missed, not by much, but missed, and rims all the way back down into Flames territory.
Continuing good things on a power play. You win the face-off. You get a shot at least at the net. Unfortunately did not catch a piece of it, but little tiny battles.
Jaden Schwartz taking it away from Yuri Hoodler, and long shot lobbed off the body of Reto Berra. Berra talking yesterday about coming to development camp with the Blues a number of years ago, so he is familiar with some of the players here. He spent some time with them in the summer.
He was saying he got to go to his first Major League Baseball game watching the St. Louis Cardinals.
He didn't make a lot of friends in the baseball community. He said about 2 hours in he was kind of bored. I don't know how you could be bored at the stadium here with the team that plays in St. Louis. But that was a number of years ago, in fairness to Reto. Flames on the power play. Unable to get much mustard yet. 50 seconds to go in the man advantage. Calgary getting a goal here in the third period. Suffice to say right now, they really need the power play to pop. And Camilleri across the line, drops it, picked up, Sean Monahan. Monahan trying to dig it free, can't get to it. Blues get it, dump it down the ice. Boy, it's been tough sledding for Monahan of late.
Well, you have to make those quick passes, and what happens here with St. Louis, they really clog up a certain part of the ice, and then that time they had 3 of their 4 penalty killers way over on the far side, so there's not a lot of space.
And Sabatka just took it away from Joe Colburn, and he'll dump it down the ice, and that will pretty much do it for the Flames' 5th power play. Down by 2 here. They need to make something happen. Penalized player Leopold back out on the ice. Calgary unable to score in their last 27 man advantages. TJ Brodie to Colborne. Camilleri back to Brodie. You get the sense that the Blues have kind of turned it up a notch after giving up that goal.
Really tightening up the ice also as far as defensive play.
Jones shot turned away. Jones goes to the net, but that one grabbed by the Blues and dumped down the ice. And this one will be an icing call and come all the way back down to the corner by Elliott.
On that face-off win on the power play, Hoodler coming out of the far right corner has a stick down. He's tapping it. He wants to quick redirect, but as it got by Backlund, it started to get airborne, and it couldn't stay on the ice, and David Jones does a good job. Again, an example of a first shot on net, sets up a rebound, driving hard to the net.
Weidman to Gagliardi. Slips by Berglund. Gives it back to Matt Stajan behind the net. Jones to Billings. To Weidman. That one whistles. Just a foot wide of the net. Tarasenko tipping it ahead. Chance now for the Blues. Here they come. Steen shoots. Stopped by Barrett, top of the crease.
Perfect defensive play there by the Flames as TJ Gagliardi, a forward, comes back to help out. And what he did, he took away the passing play for Steen. Right here is a quick tip. Original 2-on-1. Here comes Gagliardi down the middle. Good communication. Weidman forces the hottest goal scorer in the league right now, Steen, to make the shot. And at that point, Bear realized that all he has to do now is play that shooter. He's able to come out, be aggressive, top of the paint, and make the save.
Monahan to take the draw with Sabatka. Sabatka wins it. Shot goes wide. Brodie after gets some help from Jackman as he keeps Derek Roy at bay. Here's the goal scorer for Calgary. He's got a little jump in his step, does Tim Jackman. Blues get it back. Here comes Stewart. In the Calgary territory. Momentarily thought about going wide on Brodie. Thinks better of it as Bouwmeester has it, and he'll play it to Sabatka along the wall. Shot turned away by Berra, right to Jackman. Tips it ahead, looking for Max Reinhart, but it came to Pietrangelo, and he gets it out of harm's way. Here's Chris Butler. Flipping it into the Blues end. Calgary wanting to make a change on the back end. They do, but that gives some room to Lapierre. Can't get the shot through. Hoodler. Up ahead, Colborne across center. Dumping it in, Camilleri trying to work on Jackman. Puck gets by both. And St. Louis have it, and here they come to center. Lapierre trying to give it back to Reeves, brought in. Offside for the Blues. They have to clear the zone, and Chad Billings with it. His pass looking for Colborne. It's behind him. And we've seen that from Joe Colborne before. He gets behind defensemen. He's got pretty deceptive speed.
He's got that great stride as we get an icing call here. And that's that great stride and reach, which you said. And it was just a good defensive play. Right here, Billings just gets it up into the air, and it's snapped out of the air by Jackman once, and then he was able to pick it up after it bounces off that right skate of Joe Colborne. One of the TJs in the game, one of three. Gagliardi, I think, having one of his best games in a long time, especially in a very tough building against a tough team.
Russell. And it comes back to Gagliardi's shot. That one's tipped, but it goes wide. And again, another Blue hurt on the exchange in front. And rolls back to Weidman. That's Stajan in the corner. Cracknell with it. And Adam Cracknell will get it to center, and he's hit by Dennis Weidman. Doesn't like the hit.
Of course, that was the guy that blocked the shot, too, so he didn't have a good head of steam going. So not a very good shift for Adam Cracknell.
That's Stajan trying to get it to Jones. Jones along the wall. Gagliardi is there. TJ Oshie plays it to David Backes. Steen on the far side gets him the puck. Shot dribbles off a leg. And Gagliardi will play it ahead. Time now the enemy for Calgary. Just under 8.5 to go. Down by a pair here in St. Louis. Steve pestered by Brody. But it's Bouwmeester. Pietrangelo will flip it through the arrow. This one's going to land beautifully, but offside. Dennis Wideman gets Adam Cracknell. Flames down by 2 here in the third.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today, and you can be our next lucky winner. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You can win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca. And just a reminder that a complete radio review of every Calgary Flames game is on Sportsnet 960, The Fan, immediately following the final buzzer.
Michael Backlund out to take the draw for Bob Hartley's team. Max Lapierre, though, winning it as the Blues control the puck. Lapierre's goal right now would stand as the game winner if nothing changes between now and the end of the game. Flames trying to make something change. Hoodler dumping it in. Big Jay Bouwmeester is back for it. Michael Backlund pressuring him. Camilleri is there. Flames come up with a puck. Oh, and that one off the foot of Backlund right in front of Brian Elliott. Bounces off the wall and comes back to Elliott. He'll hang on. Face-off coming up.
Michael Backlund getting a little bit more ice time than he has had in the past, and that's good news because that's something Bob Hartley and the Flames could use as he drives hard to the front of net in those high traffic areas. You're going to pay the price, but you're going to get rewarded also, and Hartley wanted to have that more oomph offensively coming from Michael Backlund.
Flames looking for a little oomph right now. And Jackman's provided it here in the third period with his first of the season. He's out there right now. Steen lifts it for Backes. Chop back. Reinhart has it. Shoots off the blocker of Elliott. Lost it momentarily. Now the Flames jamming at it. Sean Monahan after it. Jackman comes over, seals off Backes. But the Blues have it. Pinching it ahead. Oshie. Holds up, waits, has some help coming off the bench. Oshie, though, gives it away. Max Reinhart has it. He'll hit the red line and dump it in. Max Reinhart, his first game of this season, played 11 last year for Calgary, picking up 3 points. I've liked him in this game, Charlie.
He really has a little rough start with that first penalty, but good back check there, took over a defensive position and did the smart play as he got to the center ice line. Didn't have any play, knew he had to get off for a line change. Made sure he gets it deep, and that allowed 5 fresh players to get on the ice.
Keep in mind, they're using him as a left winger, drafted as a centerman. This year in Abbotsford has been playing on the wing. TJ Gagliardi, great play to keep it alive. Unfortunately, couldn't get it very deep. Stewart holds up. Now along the boards. Has some help from Derek Roy. Puck kicked ahead. Calgary can't get it out. Now they'll try. There's Shane O'Brien. Bounces off Derek Roy. O'Brien gets it to Camilleri. He'll dump it in. Leopold in control of it. Stewart calls for it. Backhands it in off the glass. Butler forced to get it. He gets it away from Cracknell. Hoodler to Butler. Again, not a lot of room to move in that neutral zone as the Blues do a great job of clogging it up.
And what it does doing that, it keeps the Flames stationary where their game has to be on the forecheck. And if you're not moving through that neutral ice zone, you're not getting a good forecheck.
Hoodler's moving through it. He has it, chips it ahead. Colborne on the backhand. In front, Camilleri can't control it. Following up Hoodler, it comes back to Colborne. Brody at the point. Butler shoots. That one bounces off the wall into the mesh. Hoodler gets it. Plays it back. Colborne couldn't control it. He'll get a second crack at it. This time he does. Looking for Hoodler out in front. It comes back to Butler. Shot off the blocker. They score! Mike Camilleri, Calgary within 1.
Something that was missing drastically in that first period were the urgency in the one-on-one battles. This time the Flames kept it going down low. And they get it back to the point, a bouncing puck, a shot, big rebound. Mike Camilleri slides off nicely as he normally does, and he's on his forehand right there, and there's that quick shot from Butler off the left pad of Elliott right to Mike Camilleri, and Get yourself a horse race right now.
Flames now within one, just over 5 minutes to go, as they have scored the only 2 goals here in this period. Can they get back even? That's the next question. Tarasenko, puck taken away by Russell. Reinhart out to center. So the goal goes to Camilleri's 5th of the year from Butler and Hudler. Chris Butler has really stepped up for the Calgary Flames. Puck given away, Tarasenko trying to go around Weidman. His shot misses the net. Shattenkirk played it to a position nobody was at, and the Flames are able to get it out. Berglund. It's punched back in.
Good work down low by both Hudler and Joe Colborne to set up that play. And again, those were those little battles we didn't see in that first period. And the simple shots on net sets up second opportunities.
Eliardi, a little trouble getting it in now. He does. And it's offside. Mike Camilleri getting the Flames within one late here in the third period. It's TELUS Flames Hockey. Game review is brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company.
3 TJs in the game tonight, but it's Gagliardi who's playing so hard tonight. 3 scoring chances, couple shots, a big hit. The steam machine, 10-game goal streak. He's got 14 on the season so far. And Mike Camilleri making it close. 2nd goal in his last 3 games. Flames from that first period on have really turned it around, at least for themselves, and gotten them back within 1.
I don't think it's by coincidence that both of the third period goals by the Flames were similar in the sense point shots off of Elliott and then rebounds, as that one is knocked down. The offense for Calgary generated from the back end tonight. Here's Stajan. Trying to get it to the middle for Jones. It bounces around momentarily for Elliott. And the Flames crash the net. Blues come to the defense of their netminder.
Simple play, good play coming out of the defensive zone, gaining control. As they move it across, they can't get that loose puck. It's bouncing. Matt Stajan comes in looking for a rebound.
Mike Camilleri gives us our second winner tonight. Lise Ems of Calgary swiped a free club card, and on behalf of Safeway and Kraft Dinner has won a Garmin Newbie 2597 LMT GPS. Take a look at Camilleri, who's, Charlie, been a really good, they didn't have him for the first part of the season since he's come back, and without Curtis Glencross and Lee Stempniak, he's much needed offense for Calgary. 5
goals in the 9 games since coming back, and he has now 8 points on the season, and that's that leadership that we'd shown earlier in the game with the guys that are out that you really miss on a team like the Calgary Flames.
3:40 to go. Off the draw, Camilleri's shot hits a leg and goes wide. Colborne without a helmet. Russell keeps it in. Camilleri gets it to the Craig McTavish-like Joe Colborne. Colborne misfires, still with it, plays it back. Picking it up is Hudler momentarily, doesn't have full control. Now Camilleri and Colborne are down there. Hudler worked over by Jackman. Puck rimmed around the boards. Russell will not be able to get to it. And this is going to be an icing call, and the ref,
and this is no surprise what's happening here in the second and third, as we get a great indication of a timeout. And that was the question asked him about the play of the Calgary Flames, and he said very blatantly, he says, we have to be aware of them. The way they play, they're always in games. They realize they're short-staffed, but that's when he realized they're more dangerous. And he says, we're well aware of what they've done so far this season.
Take a look at this shift from Joe Colborne, as he's not going to be deterred.
Right off the face-off, he wins the face-off, and as he goes down, loses the helmet, stays right with it. Now there's old-time hockey right there. Hair flaring around, and he's skating. And that's just the way you have to continue to play. It's a 1-goal game. You're not leaving the offensive zone to get off the ice at this time of game.
Andy McElman, the linesman, had the helmet and I'm sorry, I thought back to former Flame Adam Pardy playing for the Jets last night in Chicago. Got hit through the glass and a fan ripped his helmet off and wore it and gave the fist pump. I was kind of waiting to see what the linesman was going to do. He just gave it back to Joe. It wasn't a trophy.
No trophy, and he wasn't going to give it to him as the play was going on. I thought maybe he'd try to put it back on, but not at this time of the game.
Holborn back out there with Hoodler and Camilleri. 3:06 to go in the third. Flames down by 1. Battling back here in period number 3 with 2 goals. Jackman is first, Camilleri is 5th. Flames win the draw, but it's the Blues with the puck, and they'll dump it in. Berglund back, but it's an icing call again.
Yeah, there's no question here. This was a good 3-4 feet before the center red line where they chipped it off the wall. And so,
because of hybrid icing, wouldn't Berglund be arguing that he was there, though?
Well, they waited till right to the end, as the chase went all the way through. And Chris Butler did a great job. There's the red line. It finally shows up. Right there's the race. They get to the top of the face-off circle, and that's as soon as they touch the puck, they blew the whistle.
Yeah, you were bang on. I should never doubt you when it comes to racing.
With speed, well,
you a noted, yeah, exactly, a noted speedster yourself. The whistle goes. And did they just not drop it, or?
It's going to be a penalty, hand on the puck. Centerman, as the linesman made this call very quickly. Sobotka, right as he gets down, puts a hand on top of the puck with Stajan, stays right in between them. Down he goes, and then he gets the hand on the puck and he shovels it back. And the linesman standing right there made the call.
Delay of game to Sobotka. So the Flames, who so far tonight are 0 for 5 with the power play, but as our good friend, one-time assistant coach of the Calgary Flames, Rich Preston, often said, it's not how many, it's when. And this would be as good a time as any for the Flames power play to find the back of the net.
Yeah, you could go very quickly from 0 from 100 to be 1 for 1.
Hoodler to Weidman. Shot up high. Comes back to Russell. He'll keep it in. Flames can't control it. Digging after it. Colburn gets it to Camilleri. Into the corner for Hoodler. Up top, Weidman shoots. That one's blocked. It comes back to Weidman, and a good job by Backus to knock it to the Flames blue line.
Well, that time Steen took the brunt of that Weidman shot. I don't know if I want my 14-goal scorer blocking shots at this time of the year.
2 minutes to go here in the third period. Calgary on a power play, trying to get the puck back. Barrett Jackman has it, and he'll dump it down the ice. Hoodler up ahead. You know, at some point, if the Flames don't score, Reto Berra will be coming out. And that pass by everybody. Berra's leaving, but this is going to be an icing call. Things just a little discombobulated right now out there for Calgary.
Well, it was just practice. Practice for Berra leaving the net at that point. It's an icing call. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, not a lot of momentum on the power plays. And quick release right there. Steen coming out and blocking that shot. Misses Backus and then catches Steen, who's the second player in line. So, I mean, that's how these players nowadays think about blocking shots.
Although I looked at that, I'm not sure Steen was expecting to block it.
Well, I think he was hoping it hit Backus first.
Yeah, exactly. Minute 28 to go in the game, or in the third period, I should say. 38 seconds to go in the Flames power play. They've already tipped their hand. They do want Reto Berra out of the net as soon as they get control. And up the ice. Berra creeping towards the bench. Now he will go. Shot in. Elliott has it. Is he thinking about it? He is. Elliott going for the empty net. Not even close.
TJ Brodie on his horse right away.
Flames can't get it in. Alex Steen, the wrong guy you want to be giving the puck to. Now Calgary will get it in. Jones trying to get it to the middle. Petrangelo will get it out. Bank shot. Doesn't have the angle. Penalized player back out on the ice. So it's a regular old 6-on-5 with the net empty. Calgary 0 for 6 with a power play in this game. That matters not at this point. They need the puck back. Camilleri in front. Tried to tip it. Was Jones. It bounces to Elliott. Flames did get free, but the referee blew the whistle. So a face-off coming up with 36.2 seconds to go.
Elliott really had big eyes right here. He said, wait, nobody's near me. Let's see what I can do. TJ Brodie realized what was happening. He came back. Nice read and nice look at that puck up in the air. And why not? You're killing a penalty. You don't have to worry about icing. You got the puck out of the defensive zone. So probably a few snickers from the locker room after.
Now the Flames will call their timeout. As Joe Colborne and his teammates are over to hear from Bob Hartley.
Well, good to see Colborne back on the ice after that early scare in that first period. And this is what we talked about in the open, how Bob Hartley is relying on a lot of these younger players to step up. And with Joe Colborne, his 31st National Hockey League game tonight, has really been a big part of this third period.
You say that, and it just blows the way he's used and the amount he's played, but it's only his 31st game.
And that's what you look at that, and again, when talking to him, he said, well, I'm in condition.
Yep.
Finally a couple weeks here, learn the system. And why wouldn't you use a guy that's 6'5", 215 pounds at center? And that's where you build your team from.
And confidence. His coach has confidence. His teammates have confidence in him. The Flames have scored with the net empty this year to tie a hockey game. That was against Vancouver earlier in October at home. David Jones will take the draw against the league's best faceoff man, Sabatka. Net empty for Calgary, down by 1. Puck goes to the corner, Camilleri on it. Bounces in the air, Weidman knocks it down. Can't do anything with it. Behind the net, Colborne comes to Camilleri in front. Weidman has to make a play on it. He keeps it alive. Hoodler kicks it along the boards. Colborne is there to Camilleri. Russell comes in. Down deep. Colborne couldn't get to it. Pietrangelo off the boards. Weidman at the line. Takes the hit from Backus. Puck's taken by Sabatka. And it's out. A valiant attempt by the Flames late in the third as it's turned away by Elliott. And the Blues win this one 3-2. You go back to the first period, Charlie, and it looked like St. Louis would run away with it, but credit Calgary. They put a big push on in the third period.
Well, it's second half of that second period into the third period, but you look at how big and strong St. Louis is. They get that early lead. That's when they can start to control the game. But the credit the Calgary Flames, you mentioned, they competed. They went hit for hit. They got better in the face-off the second and third period. They controlled the face-off circle. You look back at those many opportunities, though, on the power play, especially the one late in the game. It really is has to be a frustrating time for them. But then you look at the guys that aren't on the power play, the Stepniaks, the Glenncross, and, of course, Mark Giordano to patrol that. So you deal with what you have to deal with at the time. And you do your best. They came away 1 goal short.
The Blues penalty killers 6 for 6 tonight as Calgary is a victim of a 1-goal defeat on the road to St. Louis, 3-2, but it's off to Colorado tomorrow.
TELUS Flames Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by TELUS. The future is friendly.